Welcome to Season 2, Episode 7. We've got a coach. We're in the car. We're getting coffee. Adam Cavalier, voice of the Eagles, alongside Caleb Goins, and it's linebacker time. Caleb, last year you were the subject of one of these. And now you get to break it down instead of be the subject. Playing day's done. You joined the coaching staff. Obviously glad to have you. And now you have to figure out how to replace yourself.
Right.
It's a room that loses a fair bit. An academic all-district guy, an all-conference guy, and yourself, Alonzo Houston, one of the top 20 all-time tacklers in school history, graduates. How is the process going, trying to figure out how you fill your own shoes?
It's going good. It's funny because, we'll watch film from last year and I'll be like, all right, you got to watch this guy right here. This is what you need to do. But I'm talking about myself, and they're all picking on me like, man, coach, you're a little too high right here, coach. You might need to bend down a little bit more, But it's been a great experience. It's been a lot of fun.
It's a room that's certainly not bare. Jake Cottle played a little bit last year. Zach Williams played a little bit last year. What have guys like that done to build upon their time on the field last year and cement themselves a little more heavily?
Yeah, so Zach and Jake, they're good guys. Of course, they worked hard in the off season, lifting weights with Jeff and them. Zach has really kind of became a voice. He's emerged as a guy that is a leader in that room, and Jake is also, starting to emerge a little bit.
Obviously had to recruit pretty heavily to fill the number of snaps that were lost last year. Who sticks out to you that's new, that has come in and started to make an impact a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we've got Jameer Augustine. He came in. He's playing a little bit of Mike right now, and he's done a great job of coming in, learning the system, and just doing really good physically. Nehemiah McCoy, we call him Nemo. Nemo he's a young guy, transferred in. He's making a lot of plays out there. He's doing really well. We got another kid, Justin Rouse. He's came in and he's played. He's making tackles. He's playing real hard. And then of course you've got you've got some guys that were young last year and were redshirted or for different reasons. So you got Christian Hicks, of course. He had to sit out for that transfer rule, but he's up there too, doing a great job. Jolly Carrington, another guy that transferred in, had to sit out a year, doing a great job. And then, of course, you've got Storm and Mackay that were both young guys last year coming up. So very young room.
Carson-Newman has had some really strong linebackers, obviously historically, the head coach being one of them. But even here in the recent past, yourself included, Alonzo Houston certainly falls into that. A Tamoris Coates, a Saheem Stupart, guys that have come in, played very well within the system and succeeded. Can you link a commonality between those guys of the recent past, guys that you suited up with, and those who are in the room now?
I think the big thing is they want to learn, and they're taking the coaching. That's one thing that I played with Tamoris and Alonzo, and those guys every day, and would go meet with Coach Slade, go meet with everybody, me included. We would all go. We would meet. Hey, if I'm screwing up on something, we went and fixed it with Coach or something like that. And I see a lot of that in this group too. They're just hungry, man. They compete out there, and they make mistakes, but they make it at full speed tempo.
I don't want to reveal things that are said off the record, but as you got in the car, you said, "Man, this room's deep," and that is honestly shocking given what was lost. Why do you say that? Like, what leads you into the expression that this is, you feel like, it almost felt like this room isn't losing a step.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we as a staff did a great job getting some guys in to help us depth-wise, bringing in some freshmen that can flat out play, and then merging those guys with the few returners that we did have. And like we were talking about, man, we've got a lot of talent in that room, and they're bringing out the best of each other. Because you're not comfortable when you're up there because the guy behind you can play, the guy behind him can play, it's just very competitive, And I think it comes down to recruiting. I think that our coaching staff did a great job of getting some dudes in here.
It's an interesting thing across the board, the mix, and I think part of this is the proliferation of the transfer portal, but the mix of guys who have spent some time other places in their careers versus true freshmen that are coming into the program. Is it an intentional thing, or is it just the nature of, hey, this is the needs that we have, we're going to fill it with the best available?
Yeah, I mean, it was more situational, let's get some depth in here, let's get some competitive depth, and because, all it takes is a couple injuries and you could be in trouble, so we knew we had to get some guys here, and to add on to that, I think that we've done the older guys have really, held the standard to the room, to the defense, and to the team. The transfers that have came in, they've merged in quick with that standard, and now you can see they're starting to uphold that standard too. And the young guys, they're figuring it out. It's their first time in college, and the old guys, it's really cool to see those old guys bringing them along with them, transfers and older guys.
I think the fascinating thing too is you see guys like a Zach Williams, who he's been a great special teams guy, and there have been a long line of great special teams guys who then went on to be great linebackers. A Lane Bloom certainly comes to mind. A Christian Hicks, who didn't see the field at all last year. Those are both guys that are on the leadership committee for the football program. How have they been able to capture that in spite of spending minimal time on the actual field?
Work ethic. That is one thing about both of those guys, is they're going to work their butts off no matter what it is. In meetings, they're locked in. They're asking questions. They're writing notes down. In the weight room, I mean, those guys get after it. And they're going to call you out if you're not doing the thing you're supposed to be doing, And guys gravitate towards that. Guys listen to that stuff, And I think that that's how they've emerged as a leader. They're holding the standard. And that's just been really cool for me to see because, they didn't have as much of a voice last year. And then now they kind of got thrusted into that role, and they've taken it very well, very well.
You ran through some guys earlier, but skill set wise, Storm Livesey, Mekhi Brown, what do they bring to the table that excites you?
They bring speed. Man, I tell you what, Mekhi, Storm, those guys can flat out run. Talking about Jameer, Nemo, those guys can flat out run. Hicks, he's this off season. We used to, last year, me and him, we used to race each other all the time. This year, I can't catch him now. He's running now. He's been down there with Jeff and Ryan. He's been flat out running. And man, that's a testament to Jeff and Ryan getting those guys right, and a testament again to their work ethic. Those guys were here all summer long. All summer, May, June, they were training.
I'm interested in this. You're a fresh college grad. We pull up to the window. What's your choice here?
Welcome back.
How are you?
I feel like we should be on a first date.
What do you want, Caleb?
I'll go with a large French vanilla iced coffee.
Ooh.
With an extra shot of espresso.
I'm doubling up.
Wait, we're doubling.
You were
up
the
today.
first double
the first?
shot.
Oh wow.
First double shot in the history of the series.
In the history, okay.
Unbelievable.
A large French vanilla.
Bringing different people.
That's right.
Skype.
Yeah.
Microphones.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's like a podcast. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
I love how we don't tell anybody what's happening over here. I'll do a large ice mocha, please.
Large French vanilla with a double shot.
That for
Yes,
him, and
yes,
then a large ice mocha for me. That's a good apposition. You get
Yeah.
chocolate with the vanilla. That's
the vanilla?
This is a good.
This was, yeah.
Yeah, this is a good pairing.
Yeah, you were making fun of my pasty color.
Yeah, I was. I shut the sunroof. Just look at it.
Yeah.
Gleaming
He said
off
it
of
was gleaming off of
Caleb's forehead. Bless your heart. I'm guessing you've quickly figured out as a coach how important sunscreen is.
You know, my
Yes.
yes. My first couple days, Coach Brock pointed out that my whistle, I had a tan line from where my whistle was. And I was like, and I went and looked in the mirror and I was like, oh no, this is not good. So I had to get the bucket hat, wear it down,
Caffeine choice here. I want to dive into that.
Yeah.
I don't, when I think linebacker, I don't think,
17?
thank you so much. I don't think large ice French vanilla. I don't know what I think, but that's not where I go when I think linebacker.
I'm typically a black coffee in the morning kind of guy.
Okay.
Let's get it down.
Sure.
Let's it's kind of the I don't know what you'd say, the worker's choice.
Sure.
We're gonna get in early. We're gonna be in there working.
Of course.
While the receivers and all those guys, they might be a little late.
Thank you.
But the hard hat guys, they got to be there a little early. So I'm typically a black coffee kind of guy. But anytime you come to a place like this where you're paying $3-4 for a black coffee, I can't get myself to do it.
You want?
I'm going to get something a little fancy,
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
little tasty,
I'm clearly, we've seen 16 of my choices through the years. I prefer something a little sweet. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong.
But I can't make the comparison.
Yeah.
Ice French vanilla into the linebacker's room. I do think it's an interesting choice as a recent college grad. We saw Johnson Jameson as a recent college, not super recent, but he's still, at least when he shot it last year in the under 30 club, dumped the bang in. This feels like you're a little mature beyond your years with your choice.
I might be. I told Coach Jameson this morning. I said, "Hey man, I'm actually I'm proud of myself." He's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I went 2 days without drinking an energy drink." And he was like, "Man, that's impressive." I said, "No, that was 4 cups of coffee instead of an energy drink. Equals up to the same amount of caffeine,
sure.
But something about the natural coffee is a little bit healthier than whatever the C4s and stuff."
Would you ever replace the coffee with tea?
With tea?
That. Yeah.
My fiance's into that stuff. I haven't brought myself to do it yet.
Okay, interesting.
It would probably be a better decision.
I think it is a noteworthy thing, at least, and I'll make reference to this. Nobody that we've done this year has had camp voice, which probably says something about what this team is about. Yeah. But if you're battling camp voice or you're battling something, I think tea is the way to go because it can soothe the throat in addition to, now, not the caffeine content, not as high, no question.
You're right. I drink about 6-7 of those.
Yeah, you're going to be hydrated.
Right.
But you're going to get your caffeine, you're going to get your throat soothing.
Yeah.
I do want to focus on that. Again, no camp voice this year. You're number 7. Nobody has had camp voice. What does that say about, I guess, the buy-in for this group, that there's not a whole lot of yelling going on?
That's true. I mean, you've got guys that are running to the football. They're playing hard, and whenever that stuff takes care of itself.
Oh, here we go.
I got that French vanilla right here.
Vanilla.
And then I got that mocha right
Thank you,
here.
sir.
Thank you so much.
And then there's Sean.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Again, this is good.
Look at the color.
I mean,
I see vanilla versus chocolate right there. But when guys are running to the football, when they're playing hard, you don't need to yell, And I think that the minor mistakes, alignment, maybe a coverage or something like that, we can teach that on the field or on the film in the film room. You don't have to yell at guys for effort. That's the stuff that you really get fired up about is effort And we got guys that are bought in. They're going to play with effort. Now, you put that football out there, they're going to go full speed every single play, and that's just a testament to them and their competitive spirit.
Given how fresh the field is for yourself, has it been an easier transition to relate to everybody? Given that for several of these guys, you were suiting up with them last year, or has there been moments of, oh, this is different for me?
It's been a mixture. It's like you said, I was playing with these guys last year, eating in the calf with them, and now I'm kind of put in an authoritative role, and that's something that I've had to adjust to. I've had to play around with it a little bit, and it's funny, they still call me Caleb and stuff. Coach Brock will be like, that's Coach Goins now, guys. You're gonna have to respect them, But those guys, I feel like I was kind of leading them a little bit last year. I was the 5th-year guy. I had the voice in the room. So as far as that goes, that hasn't been a transition. But as far as with the young guys, they don't know Caleb. They just know Coach Goins. So I'm getting a good mixture of, I can, just trying to figure it out, It's been great, though. It's been great. Those guys, they respect me. And I respect them, and they listen, and they're doing a great job of that.
Biggest area of emphasis for this room over the next 10 days or so as you bear down on opening kickoff?
I think right now, like I said, our effort and stuff's there. Don't have to coach that. I think the big thing now is let's just hone in on the minor details. And I tell the guys this every day. Hey, if you take a step here, if you do this, if you have your hands here, that's the difference between being just good and then transitioning that into being great. Hey, right here, you're good, but let's be great. And I think that with these next couple weeks, that's what we're going to focus on.
He is Caleb Goins. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier. Season 2, Episode 7, Coaches in Cars, Getting Coffee, done, dusted. Thanks for watching.